Well, right now we are in Afat in Ankara. This is where the main humanitarian aid and also search and rescue operations are being coordinated, not only by Turkish institutions, but also some local NGOs are in here as well. And according to 2014 Afat plan, there are some ministries and also some institutions are given specific tasks to coordinate such rescue and search and rescue operations and also humanitarian aid. And right now I am with Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu. Sir, thank you very much for being with us. I just want to ask you about what's the latest with humanitarian aid right now.
Thank you very much. We have been receiving support and humanitarian assistance from so many countries, almost 100 countries, 97 countries, and 16 international organizations offered their assistance. And currently there are 64 countries on the ground, search and rescue teams, and in total more than 7,700 personnel, foreign personnel on the ground. And 16 countries are also sending their search and rescue teams. They are underway, and it means more than 2,000 additional personnel. But we are receiving different type of humanitarian assistance as well, and tents, winter-proof tents, and other type of needs that requested by the people on the ground. So it's tremendous. It is tremendous, frankly speaking. We are actually surprised, pleasantly surprised with all this support and assistance offered by international community.
So I was just going to ask you about this because more than 90 countries, you said, offered help, and more than 60 countries right now operational. Have you ever expected such an offer to Turkey?
As I said, we are pleasantly surprised, and we are very grateful, not only to all these countries that I mentioned, 97 countries, but all the people from all over the world, and not only Turkish citizens living in those countries, from all over the world. We have been receiving their support, as well as international organizations. So it is, as I said, we are pleasantly surprised. It's more than what we expected, frankly speaking. I think there are two reasons of this. First of all, those two earthquakes are one of the worst in our history, with 7.7 and 7.6 magnitude. And 10 regions, provinces affected. 13 million people. And I think everybody saw the scale of this earthquake and the damage as well. And the second reason, as Turkey, we have been always one of the first country to reach the countries and the nations that had disasters, different type of disasters, earthquakes, floodings, and so on and so on. So I think people are, the countries and the nations are reciprocating our assistance. I don't want to say that we are doing this, we did this, but Turkish people and Turkey have been also very sensitive supporting people and the countries when they have any such disaster.
Well, it looks like the disaster is unprecedented, but also international aid is also unprecedented. So I just want to ask you about what does your ministry do in terms of coordination, this search and rescue operations and humanitarian help?
Not only my ministry, all the institutions, civil society are on board. And as foreign ministry, we have to coordinate the international support. And when we are asked any bank account, AFAD and other agencies we provide that, of course. But while they are sending so many search and rescue teams, we have to support the coordination of it, as well as other type of humanitarian assistance. And we also get feedback from the ground. And for instance, at this moment, we need more winter-proof tents, as well as containers and other type of equipment. So we inform the countries when they call me. I kindly ask them to send this item, that item. So whatever it is needed on the ground. And we have 7 representations in Turkey. And 3 of them are in the region, in Hatay, Gaziantep, and Diyarbakir. And we actually had 17 personnel over there. Unfortunately, one of them we found out that died in Hatay, one staff, local staff. And he's originally from actually Hatay. We sent him from Ankara when we opened that representation, and he was volunteer, and unfortunately he died. And in addition to local personnel or the current staff that we sent, we deployed ambassadors, 11 ambassadors to the region, to different cities and airports, to coordinate all this international support with AFAD, Disaster Management Agency, and local authorities. And we have also representations in Istanbul. They are also on board. And Edirne at the bordering city with Bulgaria and Greece, and also in Antalya. Because of the situation at the airport, some of the planes had to land in those cities before they reach all these affected cities and the airports. So, and at here, we have coordination and support center that we established during the COVID-19. You know, we were able to evacuate more than 100,000 citizens from 165 countries. Then we successfully evacuated our citizens from Afghanistan when Taliban took over. Not only our citizens, we also supported the efforts of other countries and the international organizations like NATO and United Nations to evacuate their personnel and citizens. And during the war, when the war started in Ukraine, we evacuated almost 18,000 people from there. Therefore, we have experience, and we reactivated this center, and we are at the AFAD center here, Disaster Management Authority, or agency we have. And we have ambassadors, 5 ambassadors working here together with other people from different institutions and ministries. So as everybody are doing their best, our ministry is also doing its best to contribute all these efforts.
So we know that this earthquake didn't strike Turkey only, and also northern Syria. So what type of efforts are taking place right now to ease the humanitarian situation there?
Unfortunately, many other countries in the region felt the earthquake, but it hit Syria and Syrian people very badly, and the situation there is concerning. And international community has been asking us to facilitate their support to the Syrian people. And we have border gates with Syria, and we use Cilvegözü border gates, Babel Hava, at the other side, name of the border gates at the Syrian side. For the UN cross-border assistance, it is mentioned in the UN Security Council resolution. And unfortunately, the roads at the other side has been also damaged. We did our best to repair the roads, and yesterday 6 UN trucks actually crossed the border to reach Syrian people affected by the earthquake. And we also suggested international community to use 2 border gates in Kilis province, and they are considering actually they should consider. So while we are doing our best to coordinate all the efforts in Turkey and for our citizens, we cannot close our eyes what happened in Syria. So we have to facilitate the humanitarian assistance to Syrian people.
Well, with this unprecedented help offered to Turkey and with this unprecedented search and rescue operators offered to Turkey, should we see, and after this incident, more cooperative region at least in the area?
Well, we have received support from neighboring countries. And let me give you two names, Greece and Armenia. You know, we have been normalizing our relationship with Armenia as well after the war, Nagorno-Karabakh war. And we have been taking some steps together with Azerbaijan. And, you know, we had some tensions with Greece. I don't want to get into details of this, but they also proposed to support us, and we happily said yes, and they have been sending more and more personnel and humanitarian assistance. And their minister, Stylianides, who is a good friend of mine, and he was EU commissioner actually. When he was EU commissioner, he was in Turkey very frequently to support the refugees in Turkey. So the very positive messages coming from both countries, for instance, from Israel, from other neighboring countries, and the regime in Syria has been also more flexible, more constructive in terms of humanitarian assistance. And I remember one thing, actually, your question reminded me one thing. When we had terrible earthquake in 1999, another earthquake in a month, I think, or more than in a month, hit Greece, and we supported each other. And the Time magazine then covered this very positively. And I sent a letter, reader's letter, to the magazine. And it was published. And I tried to say that, yes, we supported each other, which is very good, but we shouldn't wait for another disaster or earthquake to further our bilateral relations between Turkey and Greece. And I really sincerely sent that letter, and I still believe that we shouldn't wait another disaster to support each other or to resolve our disputed issues or outstanding issues or problems. Therefore, we should do our best to normalize the relations.
So thank you very much for the explanation, and we know that all ministries, all relevant ministries are in here to coordinate search and rescue operations, and it looks like it's going to go on throughout the day, and most probably throughout the other week we can expect these search and rescue operations to take place in the area. So we can clearly say, yes, NGOs are helping, and we can say that Afad is also helping, but definitely, as we've heard from Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu, that diplomacy is also saving people's lives.